Ladies and gentlemen, if you followed the 2024 election and the subsequent reaction, the crazy liberal reaction, there's probably a pretty good chance you've seen this lady. This is the election expert. This is the political analysis that she says she's an analyst, and she's going to tell us why Kamala Harris is going to win. She's gloating to this dude, and this is her story on why Kamala is going to win. I mean, she knows, but she's the expert. She's the expert, not us. She's the expert. She's going to tell us. And then we've got an update on her that just came out, apparently. But this is on TikTok, too. So it's like, these people, they'll get, because on TikTok, it's so easy to grow. You can get thousands and thousands and thousands of followers really within the first few days. On YouTube, it's a lot harder. So there's a lot of these fringe people that go on TikTok. They get all these followers. They think they're important. And this lady calls herself a self-proclaimed political analyst. And so let's see what she has to say when it comes to the election here.
Encounter was when I went out to get my champagne.
This is before the election. This is probably like 5 o'clock, like right before the votes start counting.
I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight.
Okay. Just that phrase, toasting Madam President, it's just such a smug, arrogant, and also I don't think this happened. Oh, why are you getting the champagne? I feel like this is a made up story, honestly. To try and gloat on why Harris is going to win
tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not.
Wow.
He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making their voices heard. Reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa.
There it is. Ann Selzer. The hero. The feminist hero, Ann Selzer. She's going to take every swing state, but also Iowa, even though the Democrats lost Iowa by 8 points in 2016 and 9 points in 2020. Don't pay attention to the voter registration shifting heavily for Republicans from 2020 to 2024. Don't pay attention to the more positive early voting in 2024 versus 2020. I remember 2020, Trump won the state by 9 points. Don't pay attention to that. It's the Queen Ann Selzer, and this is the exact demographic that would fall for it.
And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now.
Oh my
God. The numbers
are
there. She's taking this election.
She's a political analyst.
I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right?
Oh.
And I didn't care.
That's a fake story. I'm sorry. That is such a fake story. But it turns out to be such a humiliation of her. I don't think people realize that there's just no way. And then we got an update. I haven't watched this one. This is the update. Back in the saddle.
Very happy Thanksgiving holiday to you. I hope you had a terrific Thanksgiving.
Back in what is the saddle? Doing like a 1-minute TikTok video every day? Like what is the saddle now? Because I thought she was a political analyst. What do you exactly predict now the election's over?
And we are getting back to business here. So
back to business. The 1-minute TikToks, it's real professional.
The majority of the trolling has quieted down. So I just did my first TikTok live in some weeks, and that was really terrific. So great to see everybody in a live environment. And I'm excited to get started with the videos again. I know you have 1,000 questions, and so I'm going to open up these TikTok videos for comments. So if you have questions, go ahead and put them in there. And I'll be making videos just like I was doing prior to the election, answering the questions that you have. And onward and forward. We have a lot of work to do. And I know a lot of people are interested in running for local office. We're going to be...
All right, well, that's enough of that. And then we've got this. Oh my goodness. So CNN had a panel where you've got the liberal people trying to defend the pardoning of Hunter It's just impossible to do. But let's see what this is. You've got Trump saying that Trump will deploy the military on Americans. Yeah.
I don't want to be bringing back waterboarding. I don't want to be a country that tortures people, especially if we're the kind of country that's going to be using the military against our own citizens. This kind of thing concerns me.
What do you mean use against our own citizens?
I'm talking about
you
sending...
said blue states behave. What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about...
That's good. That's good by Jennings. Because when they say use the military against the citizens... That's not what Trump was saying at all. Trump was not talking about citizens in specific, and it was, I believe, based off of riots anyways, where he would say that. But like what they're saying is just totally false. Trump would never said anything close to that, saying that against the actual citizens. They're insinuating something completely different than what Trump was trying to articulate.
About sending the military into blue states to make them behave, getting Gavin Newsom under control, getting J.P. Pritzker under control.
Yeah, but how does the military, so the military marches into blue states and then turns them into police states? How does that work?
Are you
making
sure? What do you mean? Like sitting into the state capitol to commandeer the state government?
I mean, I hope not, but he's definitely talked about that. I don't know why you're acting like you've never heard this
military to suppress, in the Black Lives Matter era, those protests.
Yes. When they go and they riot and they burn places down and there were 45 people that were killed, just like the BLM riots, do you want the military to be used in January 6th? Well, BLM, there was far, far, far more violence. But no, they want the military to be used during January 6th, but not BLM. But BLM, like 20 times, like there was one person that died on January 6th. It was a Trump supporter. BLM was like 45 people. There was $2 billion in property damage. It was the most expensive riot in American history. But no, that's what Trump was saying. He was talking about the riots. You're right. So this idea that you would use this false equivalency and Trump would just willy-nilly say, so they've got nothing. These people have nothing but fear-mongering about fringe talking points that aren't even what Trump was trying to say.
The street,
he was there himself.
I just make sure I understand your position, that you believe Donald Trump is going to use the military to set up effectively like coups in state capitals.
He should have thought of that in 2016. Ugh, his first time, or in 2017 when he first got in. Oh, why didn't he think of that his first term?
Of states that he didn't win?
I think you're taking it a step or two.
No, she said
far.
Make blue states behave, and she also said round up immigrants. That's not true. Well, it's deport illegal.
Yeah, round up illegal immigrants. That's true. Illegal immigrants, not just. And see, that's another thing that they do. They just lump them all together. They lump illegals with legal immigrants. And by the way, these people have to understand. Trump's position on immigration is in if you look at it throughout history, is very liberal. It is. Trump has said many times that he wants more immigrants. Because normally the argument is, do we even have immigrants at all? That, do we want immigrants? But Trump, Because a lot of other countries, the argument is, do we even want immigrants? How strict is our immigration? Trump has said he wants more immigrants. Vivek says the same thing. Elon Musk says the same thing. They go out of their way to say that they want more immigrants. They have to be legal. And so that just shows you how absurd the framing is when she says all immigrants are going to be rounded up. No, not all immigrants. I guess you could try and make Trump this big bad evil guy if he said we're stopping immigration completely. We're not, we need to and honestly, that's what I would want. I want immigration to be frozen until we actually know the numbers of the illegals. But Trump hasn't even said that. He's gone out of his way to say he wants more legal immigration. And so they lump illegals and legals together to try and make Trump look more evil by saying just rounding up immigrants. When Jennings is trying to correct the phrasing of it.
Immigrants.
Scott,
I think you're just being a little
I don't know why you're acting. No.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry. Hold on. I mean, look. I think you're right. Let's be precise. Trump has wanted to use the military to do things domestically that actually the military is not allowed to do. I think that's the point that she's making.
Like what?
Like deport illegal immigrants. That is actually not a function of the military.
The military can absolutely be used to work with local officials to provide military resources, but working with other parts of the federal government and local officials. We already send the National Guard to the border.
Not against the will of the local officials or the will of the state government.
Yes.
Though actually it's against the will of the people if you don't abide. The people voted for mass deportations And so you need the mass deportations are happening just because local officials. This is a general election, and the American people, not just with the Electoral College, also the popular vote, voted for mass. He needs to say this. Voted for mass deportations. Just because somebody elected locally, not federally, locally, doesn't want to do that because they're liberal and they want their name in the news. It doesn't matter. They need to comply. See, this is the problem with all these different things, and in the United States, you really don't have a lot of power to do things because there's so many other people you're relying on. And when you've got two parties that hate each other, it's extremely hard to accomplish anything. And even when you've got something like this, which is illegal immigration, which is such a winning issue for Republicans, these liberals, even after losing the election and losing every swing state, they still say no. Even though the American people voted for this, we're not doing it because we have moral standing and moral authority, and really they just don't want to admit they're wrong and they don't want to lose the illegals.
You know, after they die?
We have 1.6 million people in this country who've already received deportation orders from courts. They are here illegally.
No, it's always back to legal.
No, the point is we're going to lie and say that Trump's going to use the military against liberals because he doesn't like them politically. Oh, wait, well, just like when liberals tried to use the U.S. justice system against Trump by elevating charges. That's that same lady that, oh, God, I got to find that clip. All right, here is the Mona Lisa clip, Hunter Biden talking about why it's justified to pardon him.
A lie
NBC
because
News said it.
Honestly,
NBC News.
what the other side has been saying for years, what you guys ran on for president, was multiple lies. I mean, if Eric Holder said it right, I think. He said if Hunter's name was Joe Smith, this case would probably have never even gone to trial, right?
That is exactly the... Okay, guys, you don't understand how ridiculous this is. Andrew Cuomo, the liberal, the former governor, decade-long, of New York, said the only reason that the charges against Donald Trump were elevated was because his name was Donald Trump. And she's using the exact argument. This is the party that called Trump a felon over and over again. And now to justify Hunter Biden getting pardoned, they're using the same argument that a liberal admitted was being done against Trump. The only reason the charges were elevated, not only Alvin Bragg running on the idea that he was going to get Donald Trump, and oh yeah, he got him all right. He got him right into the White House. They're using the same argument. When you peel it back, it's so remarkably stupid. What she just said, if Hunter Biden's name was Joe Smith, he wouldn't be charged, was the exact word for word same thing that Andrew Cuomo, a liberal, said and admitted about Donald Trump. The exact same thing. And so if you want to make that trade, we can make it to where you think Hunter Biden, it's unjustified. But yeah, what have Republicans been saying about all of these legal issues for Trump? They've all been political. And there's a huge political incentive. And that's why all of them are going away after Trump won. And it really is amazing. But I just saw that and it was just like, oh my goodness. I mean, this is the argument you're using. But they shouldn't be defending this at all. It's a losing issue for them, pardoning Biden. But either way, guys, it is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Links to that's always in the description.